Have you ever noticed the voice in your head? Not the one you speak with, but the one that speaks to you. It might be whispering that you'll never succeed or reminding you of every failure every time you look in the mirror. Today, I promise to show you a practical system to stop this self-sabotage and rewrite your future by changing your unconscious word seeds. Before we go any further, I want you to understand something that might shock you. The voice in your head is not you. It's a program. It's a loop that has been trained by your past, your fears, your environment, and the words you've repeated so many times that they started sounding like facts. And here's the most dangerous part. Most people don't lose their future because they lack talent. They lose it because they keep planting the same seeds of defeat, and then they act surprised when the harvest comes back bitter. So today we're not doing motivation. We're doing agriculture. We're doing surgery on your language. Because your words are not decoration, they are directions. And if you've been speaking like someone who is cursed, don't be shocked when life starts feeling like a curse. But what if the bad luck you've been fighting was actually something you've been chanting into existence? Most of us believe our words simply describe our reality, but what if they are actually creating it? We often speak words of doubt and defeat so automatically that they become invisible, like breathing. In this video, we explore the story of Thomas, a man who spoke death over his life every day until he realized his words were spells he was casting on himself. Understanding this is vital because your subconscious mind doesn't judge it, simply accepts what you repeat and looks for proof to match those words. The first step to transformation is realizing that every word you utter is a seed planted in the garden of your life. But let's make this even clearer. There are two types of people listening right now. Type 1 says, I'm just being realistic. Type 2 says, I'm speaking death over myself. And the scary truth is, both of them are planting the same seed. As the sources explain, what you plant with your tongue determines everything that grows in your world. Your words are never just words. They carry a vibration that shapes your physical and mental reality. Because your subconscious mind does not understand sarcasm, exaggeration, or I didn't mean it like that. It only understands repetition. When you say, I always mess things up, your mind doesn't respond with, oh, he's just venting. It responds with, command received, searching for evidence. Take Thomas, a 32-year-old delivery driver. Every morning his alarm was met with another terrible day. When he looked in the mirror, he told himself he looked awful. At work, he predicted disasters. He didn't realize he was watering seeds of defeat, and as a result, his life felt like a garden of weeds. His friends stopped calling, and he looked older than his age. Thomas didn't realize his words were training his brain like a dog. Every time something went wrong, traffic, a rude customer, a missed call, he would reinforce the same identity. I'm unlucky. I'm behind. I'm tired. I'm not enough. And over time, those weren't sentences anymore. They became a name tag. And once you wear a name tag long enough, you start living like the person on the tag. But what happens when you finally hear the poison you've been pouring into your own life? Most of your self-sabotage doesn't happen through big decisions. It happens through small words you repeat on autopilot. Think about it. You don't wake up and choose to destroy your confidence. You do it casually. You do it like breathing. I'm so dumb. I can't do this. I'm not that kind of person. It never works for me. And every time you say it, you are not describing your life. You are programming it. Thomas tested this in the simplest way possible. He recorded himself for one full morning, just audio, nothing fancy. Then he listened back. And what he heard scared him. He didn't sound like someone who needed help. He sounded like someone who hated himself. He was shocked at how often he spoke to himself in a tone he would never use on a friend, never on a child, never on someone he loved, but he used it on himself all day. And that's when he realized the real enemy wasn't life. It was the narrator in his head. Growth is a simple process of planting, watering, and weeding, and this applies to your mind as much as the earth. Let me say it like this. Your life is not one big decision. Your life is a garden of small repetitions. What you repeat becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes what you expect. What you expect becomes what you tolerate. And what you tolerate becomes your destiny. The sources illustrate that life and death are in the power of the tongue. If you speak death, your life will feel dead. If you speak life, you begin a transformation. Not because words are magic, like in a movie, but because words are instructions to the subconscious, and your subconscious is the engine of your behavior. Thomas met an elderly gardener named Mr. Chen, whose plot was vibrant and thriving. When Thomas complained that he killed everything he touched, Mr. Chen pointed out that those very words were seeds. He showed Thomas two identical plants. One was spoken to with love and strength, the other with negativity and doubt. After 14 days, the plant receiving positive words was green and vibrant, while the other was stunted and pale despite having the same sunlight and water. Thomas thought Mr. Chen was just an old man with dirt under his nails. But Mr. Chen spoke like a scientist. He said, "Your life is growing exactly what you've been planting." Thomas laughed. Mr. Chen didn't. He walked Thomas to the plants again and asked, "What's the only difference?" Thomas stared. Mr. Chen said, "One gets spoken to like it's alive. One gets spoken to like it's already dying." And that's when Thomas felt his stomach drop, because he realized he had been speaking to his own life like it was already dead. If words can do that to a plant, imagine what they are doing to your internal organs and your energy. The mirror is not where you judge yourself. It's where you plant your strongest seeds. Because the first voice you hear every day becomes the tone of your nervous system. And for most people, the first voice they hear is their own. If your first words are, "Ugh, I look terrible. I'm already late. I hate my life," then your body starts the day in threat mode. And when your body is in threat mode, your mind searches for danger. Your emotions become heavier. Your choices become smaller. Thomas created a simple rule: no insults in the mirror. Not one. On day 1, he caught himself mid-sentence. "God, you look." He stopped. He took one breath. And he replaced it with, "I'm improving. I'm getting stronger. I'm building a better life." He didn't believe it, but he said it anyway, because he finally understood the garden law. Seeds don't need your belief. They need your repetition. And once Thomas stopped attacking himself in the mirror, the world started attacking him less too. You cannot simply stop negative thinking. You must replace it with a new truth. Let's get brutally honest. Your mind is not a quiet place. It's a battlefield. And if you leave a battlefield empty, something will occupy it. So the goal isn't silence. The goal is command. The sources teach that every time you catch a negative thought, you must pause, breathe, and speak the opposite out loud. Even if you don't believe it yet, the garden of your mind doesn't ask for belief. It only requires the seed and the water of repetition. But here's the detail most people miss. You don't replace negative words with fake positivity. You replace them with a higher quality instruction. For example, instead of "I'm a failure," say "I'm building skill through repetition." Instead of "nothing works for me," say "I'm learning what works by testing." Instead of "I'm unlucky," say "I'm becoming prepared." This is not delusion. This is direction. Thomas began a 30-day challenge using a small notebook. On day 1, he was shocked to find he cursed his own life 47 times. He started turning "I'm so stupid" into "I am learning and growing." At first it felt fake and hollow, like lying. But he kept watering those seeds anyway because he realized he could no longer afford to curse himself. Thomas's notebook became his weapon. He didn't just write affirmations like a poster. He wrote 2 columns. Column A, the curse. Column B, the seed: "I always mess up. I'm getting better. Every rep. I'm broke. I'm learning to create value. I'm not attractive. I'm taking care of myself daily." And every time he slipped back into the old language, he didn't punish himself. He corrected himself. Like training a muscle. Soon the world around him started to react to his new frequency in ways he never expected. If you don't interrupt a negative word within 3 seconds, it roots itself deeper. Because the first few seconds after a thought appear, Your brain is deciding whether to label it as truth or noise, and most people treat every thought like a prophecy. But a thought is not a prophecy, it's a suggestion. Thomas made a deal with himself. If I catch it within 3 seconds, I win. So when he dropped his keys and said, "I'm such an idiot," he froze. 3 seconds. He corrected, "I'm human. I'm learning. I'm calm." At first it felt ridiculous, but after a week, something changed. His mistakes didn't spiral into shame. They ended like normal mistakes. And when shame stops controlling you, your energy becomes magnetic. True mastery is measured not when things go right, but when things go wrong. This is where most people fail. They speak life when they feel good, and speak death when life squeezes them. So their results never change, because the seeds they plant under pressure are the ones that grow the strongest. Your words don't just describe your world, they determine your relationship with challenges. When you change your energy, you draw in opportunities and solutions that were previously invisible to you, and your relationship with challenges determines your future. Because life will always bring problems, but only your language decides whether those problems become a sentence or a stepping stone. On day 26 of Thomas's challenge, his van broke down again, the exact same disaster that had broken his spirit a month earlier. In the past, he would have erupted in curses. This time he sat, breathed, and said, "This is inconvenient, but I'll handle it. Everything works out for my good." Within 20 minutes, the same truck driver who helped him before appeared again. Thomas realized he was no longer a slave to his automatic negative reactions. He had broken the curse. Thomas almost laughed, because it felt like reality was testing him. Like the universe was saying, "Are you still the old Thomas, or did you actually change?" This shift in energy was about to lead to a total life transformation. Your true identity is revealed by the words you use when you're tired, stressed, and disappointed, because that's when the subconscious takes over. That's when the real program runs. So, if you want to know what you're truly planting, don't listen to what you say on your best day. Listen to what you say on your worst day. Thomas started tracking one new metric. What do I say when things go wrong? And he realized his old language was always final. It's over. I'm done. It never works. So he replaced final words with flexible words. This is temporary. This is a lesson. This is a test. And those words didn't remove the problem, but they removed the panic. And once panic left his body, clarity took its place. You are the gardener of your own mind, and you have the power to choose which seeds to plant. Here's the truth. You don't need a perfect life to speak life. You need discipline. Because speaking life is not a mood, it's a practice. The sources emphasize that 30 days of speaking life won't erase decades of negativity immediately, but it begins a fundamental transformation. Once you experience even a small shift, you understand that your voice is either building your future or destroying it. And here's why. Your mind is evidence-driven. It believes what it sees repeatedly. So when you start speaking new seeds, your mind starts searching for new evidence. And once it finds evidence, it becomes easier to believe. 3 months after starting, Thomas's life was unrecognizable. He was promoted at work not just because of skill, but because his new energy drew people in. Old friends reconnected, noting he seemed lighter. His brother told him he had finally broken the curse. Thomas realized that for years he had been poisoning his own well and wondering why he was thirsty. Now the question is, what are you currently planting in your own well? If you want to change your future, you must audit your language like an accountant audits money. Because your words are not harmless, they are investments, and every investment compounds. So here's the simplest exercise you can do today. For 24 hours, listen to yourself. Not your friend, not your partner, not your boss, you. Every time you speak about your life, ask, is this a seed or is this a weed? Thomas did this audit on a random Tuesday. He didn't wait for a new year. He didn't wait for motivation. He just listened, and he discovered something terrifying. He was planting weeds even when he thought he was joking. When he said, "Man, I'm cooked, I'm finished, I'm dead," he didn't mean it literally, but his subconscious didn't care, so he stopped joking about his own destruction. And that alone changed his energy, because the moment you stop speaking like you're doomed, you start noticing doors you couldn't see before. But here is the secret that Thomas and most of us missed for years. Your subconscious mind is a servant, not a judge. It doesn't know the difference between a realistic complaint and a fake affirmation. It simply accepts what you repeat as a command. When you say, "I always fail," your mind literally goes to work, looking for proof of failure. But when you say, "I am blessed," it is forced to scan your life for evidence of blessings. The truth of your life isn't a fixed point. It is a reflection of the evidence your mind has been instructed to find. Why your mind obeys your words. Let's go one level deeper, because if you don't understand the mechanism, you'll quit too early. Your subconscious mind is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you consistent. So if you've repeated, "I'm not good enough" for 10 years, your mind will protect that identity like it's your home, even if that home is a prison. That's why change feels uncomfortable, because you're not just changing habits, you're evicting an old identity, and identities fight back. They fight back with fatigue, with doubt, with "this is fake." But remember the garden, seeds don't look like trees on day one, so don't quit because you don't see fruit in 48 hours. Your job is not to force the harvest. Your job is to keep planting. And if you can do that for 30 days, you'll start hearing a different voice in your head. Remember, your words are seeds. For the next 7 days, just listen and track your thoughts. Don't judge, don't panic, just observe. Then for 30 days, replace every negative spell with a positive truth using the notebook method. Use the 3-second rule. Interrupt the weed. Plant the seed. Speak life even when it feels fake, because your subconscious mind doesn't require belief. It requires repetition, and repetition is watering. So watch the soil of your reality begin to sprout something new. Now I want you to do something real. Drop a comment below with one negative thought you are ready to replace today. Write the weed, and then write the seed. Example: I always fail. I learn every rep. I'm not enough. I'm becoming stronger daily. Let's support each other in this garden work. Choose life, speak life, and I'll see you in the next one.